All right, so Saturday. Saturday we got up early and hopped on the bus. I think it was like an hour-long bus ride to the Aloha Stadium
I
Swap
think it
Meet.
ended up being like 52 minutes, but it was so close to an hour, and the thing said an hour. You know what's interesting is for the buses here, it'll say an hour and 13 minutes, and you get there in 55 minutes. And that's why the buses run early, because they just blow past all those stops they don't need to. They don't have to wait around. They just kind of got, like, just go and...
So anyway, the Aloha Stadium Swap Meet. When they say it's over 400 vendors, they're not kidding.
And it's...
So you have circular stadium, and you have the parking all around it, and there's 2 to 3 rows of vendors the entire length of it. We only made it through half, and we were there for hours.
Yeah, so think of like a donut, right? And the outside, like, I don't know, like draw circular lines, and so at 1, 2,
Concentric
3,
circles.
6, yes, there's the word. And so the inner circle was kind of, you could tell they're cheaper stalls because you had to go further forward.
The inner stalls were more of the traditional swap meet, garage sale-y,
Tools
locally sort of stuff.
used.
Things from Costco.
Yeah, that they bought big packages of Costco items and then broke the packages open, and so we're selling the individual items and
Lots of Army Navy stuff that had been recycled.
yeah, tons of it.
But
Swords,
yeah, swords, planks.
machetes, yeah.
But the outside of the circle had everything you could ever want as a tourist. We got t-shirts, we got jewelry.
The only problem is it starts getting repetitive on the items you see.
Yes.
You
But-
can tell there's only a set amount of places they buy from. And when there's 20 vendors selling shirts, eventually you notice all the same shirts. But I mean,
It was still fun.
The 20 vendor, they really drive down the price. There's like 7 shirts for $20. It was really good.
Yeah. I was very pleased with the swap meet. I could have spent longer there.
We ate fried rice there, and it was aggressively mediocre. We knew something was wrong when she pulled out a tote. And
Like legit plastic tote you get from Target for storing stuff.
yeah, she didn't like cook it or anything. It was just warmed, and she just put it on a plate and handed it to us. And we're like,
It was like $12 too. That was a rip. But
we didn't know.
it looked like a legit food truck.
Yeah, it just
We didn't get sick from it, so that's good.
yeah.
So after that, we went back on the bus to go back to the Dole Plantation. When we went to the Dole Plantation the first time on the circle tour, we were basically only able to go to the gift shop for like half an hour.
And then we really were stretching it then.
So it was an hour and 46 minutes on the bus to get from the Aloha Stadium over to the Dole Plantation, during which we saw probably the most disgusting person we've ever seen in our entire lives.
Yeah. So
We're filming this in the middle of the COVID-19 thing, even though it's 2021.
yeah.
And
so
this guy
the
was...
resurgence and all that, and so
There was this guy that was... If we're sitting in the back part of the bus with the seats, he was 2 seats up, aggressively coughing, while pulling his mask down.
he pulled his mask down to cough.
On purpose. And, like, he would also have... They have the seats raised in the back, so he would have his arm up and pull his mask down so that the driver couldn't see that he was coughing. And so she couldn't see that the mask was off either. And he was
chewing something, like, aggressively.
It was nicotine gum. I saw him, like, putting the whole pack in his mouth all at once. I don't know if he found it. I don't know what happened.
Then he
but
dropped the pack on the floor.
Yeah, he just let her bug.
And then he just smashed it. I didn't even see it spit out the gum, so he must have swallowed it.
No, he didn't swallow it. He put it on the side of the wall.
Oh, gross.
And it was, like, a whole, like, 12-pack of nicotine gum.
And then he was, like, falling asleep, so he kept hitting his head on the chair.
Like, he was obviously on some sort of substance.
I thought he might be sweaty at one point. That's what I thought. He might be sweaty and feverish, but I couldn't honestly tell.
I couldn't see any sweat. I was too distracted by the rest of it.
His hair was too short to see if it was matted or anything to his head.
But the cherry on top.
Before we get that. So, he kept falling asleep, right? And then he
I'm like going...
hit his head again. And then, like, he just coughing and that, and just...
To the point where we put on a second mask.
Yeah, we put
were
on
very
2
concerned.
masks. It was so... Like, this guy... Yeah, and then he got off the bus, and he did something we've quite never seen before.
So he got off at just some random bus stop. You could tell that he wasn't going anywhere in particular. And sometimes people leave items at bus stops.
Yeah, you can't bring drinks on the bus. So there was a Taco Bell nearby, right?
Yes.
And they left their large Baja Blast on the chair.
It was probably like half full.
Yeah, and you could see it. And he got off, and this is like a transfer station, so it was a little busier. So he got off and he walked towards it, and then he picked it up.
And he looks at it.
And he and I are like, no,
he's not gonna
no
do it.
way.
And he takes the lid off. Look, look.
Yeah, had chunks in it, and we think that was ice.
God, I hope it was ice. That just made my stomach hurt. But yeah, so
he got off the bus and drank someone else's Baja Blast, and then wandered away into the bathroom.
The weird thing is, we think he went off over to the bathroom. We didn't see where he went. He just kind of like vanished into thin air.
Yeah, he went behind the wall, and then the bus, when we left, went around the wall, and he wasn't there. And we were like, there has to be a bathroom there, yeah, on the other side of the wall, or he just disappeared.
I didn't see a door. Did you? Anyway, it was weird.
Yeah, we nicknamed him Pestilence.
There's a Phil. Wasn't it a video game?
No, it just reminds me of
The Stand.
The Stand, and he's just like the embodiment of pestilence. He's just so gross, and just, if anyone's going to be a vector, it's this guy.
Thankfully, he was only on the bus for probably 15-20 minutes.
Yeah.
So then we rode all the way over to the Dole Plantation.
Once he got off, we were just like, oh.
Yeah, we still kept the second mask
Yeah, because you
going,
don't know what he put in the air, but we went to the Dole Plantation. It was weird getting to the Dole Plantation. I got off the bus and took off the first mask, and I still was wearing a mask. I was like, oh, this is a weird feeling.
So we got there at about 1:30, and we went straight to get for our tickets for the tiny train in the maze.
Yeah, because if it's a 2-hour wait, and
they close at 4:30.
Yeah, so we're like, beeline into the train, and a lot of vloggers say, go to the second train thing to buy your tickets.
Go to the second ticket booth. It's at the train station. Don't go to the one when you get there first.
And I thought that meant the one in the gift shop. No, the first one they mean is the maze. Bypass the maze, go to the one that's actually right in front of the train.
Yeah.
We didn't do that. We only had to wait a little bit, but
it was only like 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah, so if it's a busy day, really busy, like if you get off a tour bus,
send someone to go stand in the train line
immediately, because there's no way they're gonna get through the line before you buy tickets.
Yeah, then you go get tickets if you have a multi-person party. So we waited in that train line for...
Okay, so the sign said 30 minutes when we walked up there. When we got to the front of the line, they had changed it to 45 minutes.
So we waited in line for an hour and 15 minutes for the tiny train, which is a 22-minute train ride around the plantation. And we did this because we saw this on another vlogger couple.
Yeah, they made it look amazing.
It looked so fun. Tiny train, little like crappy cutouts of people. You get to see where the pineapples are grown.
Well, then they were selling there's an empty, like a shuttered building right beside the where the train, where you buy the train tickets, and in that video they bought the Dole Whip outside. Right now they're only selling Dole Whip inside, so you have to go through the line to get in the building. And so another big thing was they don't have water
Or shade.
That line is in the sun. There's absolutely no shade. There's no water. They unplugged all the water fountains. They only have one, but it doesn't work. And so the only way for you to get anything to drink was you have to
wait through the 25-minute line to get
inside
into the building,
which is in the sun as well.
And then you have to wait.
You have to go wait through the food line to get something to drink, and that's it. So, if you have someone in the train line, you could theoretically have someone go inside, get the Dole Whips, everything. Train.
The perfect plan is to have 3 people.
Or
3.
If you have one person swap once you get to the line. But if you
Depends
want to
on when
speed it
your
up,
line is. 3 people's perfect. Send one inside to go get Dole Whips, send another person to go stand in the train line, and send your third person to go get the tickets for the train.
You could honestly have one person get the tickets, they could swap out the person in line, or they can go from the tickets to go in the building, because you will never get through that train line before the person gets through the building and gets a Dole Whip and stuff. And you can just eat in line. They don't care.
You just can't eat on the train itself.
Yeah. And so you get past the first line, and they take you up to, like, they only put enough people through the line to go to the top for one train load, but they don't count it properly, because there are people still waiting up there from the last train because they let too many people up there. And then the train takes 22 minutes.
Wait, when you get up there, they also take a souvenir photo of you. So that makes all of the loading take even longer.
Yeah, so the train line's 22 minutes long. It takes them 30 minutes to load the train. So each round train takes almost an hour. And so, like, the train will unload at a different platform right before the big platform. It will come down. You'll sit there. The train conductor gets out. They make the train conductor take the tickets, so it's not a speedy thing. She comes around. She gets the tickets, and then they have someone for each party take a souvenir photo, and then they send you to get your spot on the train. And then once
you
every
also don't
single
get
person
to choose where you sit on the train.
Yeah,
they just say, "Oh, party of 2, party of 3. You're sitting in here."
Yeah, and then they just you in the train, and you gotta wait for everyone else to take photos, and then you gotta wait for the train conductor to come back around and get back in the train, and then go. And it's just like, it took way longer than that absolutely needed to be. I mean, I've seen in my work, I've seen loading 700 students on a bus, or buses. It'd be 10 buses, or 15 probably. 15 buses, and getting out of a school faster than it took them to load one single train of 15 people.
I did like seeing where the pineapples grew. That was fun, seeing the tiny pineapples out in the field.
Yeah, you got to see all stages, because they had more mature
where it was laying
ones,
fallow, where the seedlings were, and maturing pineapples.
Yeah, they weren't ready for harvest. But
I would not do that tiny train again.
The biggest thing is it's not like a big loop where it's like, oh, I'm going to take you around here, you get to see different things, and you're done. No, it takes you up, you see everything, you do a loop at the end, like a big turnaround, and then you take a parallel track back, so you see the same things again. So it's a 10-minute train ride twice.
Yeah.
And it's nice if you're on one side and you're like, oh, I saw everything, now I get to see everything on the other side. But you don't think that, because you don't know that on the way out. So you're like looking back and forth. And then on the way back, you're like, oh, I already looked back and forth. If you had known, I would just stuck to my one lane. And then on the way back, be like, oh, I got a whole nother view. But you don't.
So when you get off of the train, they sell you the souvenir photo. Was it 30 or 35?
35.
We did buy it because I'm a sucker for souvenir photos. There's
it.
also a pond where you can feed fish off to the side. And we didn't do that because we knew that we only had time for one more activity. We had prepaid for the maze, but we were so hot at this point that we decided, what's more important to us, doing the maze or getting Dole Whip and not dying. So we ended up going through the shopping line.
Which actually wasn't that bad, because we were in the line, I went to use the restroom, I came back, and Haley was like almost at the front again. And I was like,
yeah, Phil has a habit of leaving me in line, and then I have to frantically text him.
Yeah, my phone was dying, and it wasn't getting text. And yeah.
But yeah, so we got the Dole Whip. I got the float in the souvenir cup. Phil got the normal one. I just got a straight one.
And honestly, I think I like just straight Dole soft serve. It's too much with the...
I like the pineapple juice.
Honestly, it's Disneyland. For some reason, the pineapple juice isn't as... I don't know.
It's probably less legit at Disneyland.
Probably.
But anyway, the whips were really good.
So I got a very large drink, and we just sucked that bad boy down.
There was a chicken eating rice next to us, so that was fun.
Yeah, as soon as you left. She went back in to do more shopping, and I was done, so I just stayed out there and sat on the seat and was like, this is nice. It's nice.
I really wanted, they had a souvenir pineapple knife, and I didn't get it the first time, and I had been regretting that. So I went back and I got my souvenir pineapple knife. We also got a dog lei with little pineapple treats around it. We only got one because I figured that the girls can split the actual treats, and it's not like I can get a picture of them both wearing it at the same time anyway. So for realistic and cost-saving techniques, one doggy lei. So once we finished with the Dole Plantation, we went over to the Haliwa Plantation, which is right next to it.
Yeah, they closed at 3. We didn't know it was even a thing.
It
so
feels like it's closed down like a Route 66 abandoned attraction. But supposedly it's still open.
yeah, Google says it's open. There's fresh reviews from like a month ago. So
There's little pineapples you can stick your head through and do like the silly poses. Way more up our alley than the Dole Plantation.
yeah, this one is like, it's a non-profit. It's literally in the parking lot of the Dole Plantation.
The proceeds for it benefit, was it handicapped individuals in the local communities?
They hire handicapped individuals, and I guess it goes to, I guess them entering the workforce funds.
So it's kind of like Goodwill.
Yeah, it's kind of like Goodwill, but I mean, I'm sure it's not shitty like Goodwill.
Yeah. But it was really cool. We walked around the grounds a little bit, just where you're allowed to. But
Evidently, they have a Chinese buffet.
they also have like an event hall and other fun stuff.
Yeah,
but
they get married. They have like signs.
it
and
looked
stuff.
really fun. And it was really fun for the things that like we stuck our heads through. So then we hopped on the bus and we came back.
Yeah, it was a long bus ride back.
Yeah. You always hit traffic coming back into Honolulu, even though they say, oh, the traffic's always leaving Honolulu at 5. It's also coming back. So
Yeah,
for
there's just traffic
dinner
all
that
over the
night,
time.
we ate at a Thai restaurant next to our hotel.
That's actually right here. It's called Siam Square.
Siam Square. We did not have reservations, but
just
we
walked
got
in.
in at the
couple
exact right time.
The couple in front of us had reservations. And so we're like, and he's like, do we need reservations? And he's like, no. She like kind of points at all the tables. Look at all these tables open. So we kind of get in, and literally within 15 minutes, it's packed.
Yeah. So we got in at the right time. We got the Thai fried chicken as an appetizer, which was incredible.
Yeah, it came with chili sauce. It was just fantastic.
And then we got our signature pad see ew. Okay, so their options for spice levels
On the
are-
menu, it says, be warned, will not refund for too spicy.
You have 3 options in terms of spices. There's mild, medium, and spicy. Our normal level...
It's like 2.5.
Yes, out of the 5-point spicy scale that we use at home, we get a 2, 2.5, sometimes a 3 if we're feeling daring. So, I would solidly say that's a medium. So when they asked us how spicy our food was, we went for a medium. And it was really, really spicy.
That would have been a 5, or no, at least a 4.
That's a 4 or a 5. It could have, depending on the place, that was a 5. Very spicy. We got through it, and it was delicious. That's the annoying thing. It's like, you could tell that the flavors were so good, but it hurt so much to eat.
I think that was part of the flavor. It was just this, had such a rich spicy touch.
And later,
It wasn't just like stupid spicy.
No, it was flavor spicy.
Yeah, it was good spicy. Like, I would suffer through that again.
I would
honestly.
get mild.
It might not be as good.
I disagree. I think that mild would be much better. So we got the medium. We would get not medium. We would get mild next time. Came back, went to bed.